Hello there, Shane here again with Shanty Acres Homestead. Lisa's behind the camera, but she'll be in here with me a little bit later, some of this video. So we had, there's our word, Shanty Acres word. We have a lot of projects going at the same time. Sometimes I think we have too many going at the same time. Then I realize as homesteaders, and that's what we truly are striving to be, that's what we truly are now, and you find out that you have a lot of projects going on at the same time. We're trying to work on the 10 acres of woods here and get it fenced in with a perimeter fence. We're on the back stretch of that, the neighboring fence here, getting some wire up on it, and then one short run on the north end, and we'll be ready to turn them out in spring when things start greening up. This bottom here has been bothering me for a year. When we first moved here, we had some guys come in and do some logging. They logged a bunch of cedar, and all these tops have been left laying around and just brush, and it's just been laying here and been a pile and a mess. So today I decided it was the day I was burning it, and I had a lot of it already pushed up, so I wanted to light the fire and then keep pushing it up with the tractor as it was burning and just keep pushing it up. Well, just like what seems to happen oftentimes, you know, sometimes things go wrong. Right off the bat, within the first hour, I ruined the front tire on my tractor, poked the cedar stub through it. I got the bright idea. I got to think like a homesteader, not like a perfectionist. So I ran it up to the barn, took the wheel off and the tire, took it up to the barn, and I put tire plugs in it. And it actually took 6 tire plugs to fill the hole. Checked it with soap and water, had it holding there. Man, we were golden. I thought, we'll go down here and we'll keep pushing brush all day. It'll hold. It didn't hold 10 minutes. So the tractor's been down all day. A lot of times you typically look at stuff like that and you think, well, I'm done. There's nothing else I can do. We are kind of used to doing things the hard way. Lisa and I are. And the tractor is a huge blessing. It has really been a big blessing. But I just decided this stuff was going to burn one way or another today. So I grabbed the chainsaw and started cutting all these logs into smaller, manageable pieces that I could handle. Started about 4 different fires around the circle and just started throwing this brush on the fire. And you can see, we've gotten a lot done today. I mean, it's just, I didn't show you a picture of the before, but this was a giant pile of brush. And so I'm pretty happy with it. It's going to be to the point now where once I get the tire fixed on the tractor and we come down here to start at the top of the hill and push everything downhill to one final burn place, which is right here to my right. We're going to make that the final burn place. It'll be easy then for my tractor to push everything downhill, and at the same time it'll level out the dirt and the ruts and stuff. So that'll be finished. Now, kind of while we're in that, we just realize you're always having to think outside the box. You're always having to come up with a way to finish what you started. Sometimes it's the easy way, sometimes it's the hard way. Let's pull up a bucket and have a homesteading conversation. We got us a little cheat sheet here, just a few things that we wanted to talk about, a few things that we wanted to mention. And Lisa, you want to kind of get us started off with some things? We were driving down the road the other day. We like to go for drives anyway. We were on our way to see our grandson and help him paint his new house. And while we were having a conversation about homesteading, and these are some of the thoughts that we were having. We went ahead and wrote them down. We want to kind of talk about them today while we have a little bucket talk.
Just kind of what people do as homesteaders in the 21st century. It's not a new concept, but it just looks a little different than it used to. And, you know, just the idea that it doesn't have to look like it used to. It doesn't have to look like everybody else. But
I think we have watched a lot of videos. We've watched a lot of homesteads. We've watched a lot of shows that do working with homesteads and trying to help them out and answer questions. And sometimes it almost seems like people get frustrated because maybe they don't do things the right way. It's like somebody might comment to us and say, well, why don't you do it this way? Why don't you do it that way? And it's easy sometimes from that side looking in to see an easier way to do it. But right here in the here and now and on the homestead with the tools that you have, sometimes you just do the best you can. Like this morning with a chainsaw and gloves when there's a tractor sitting right over there on the other side of the hill. So we found out, we kind of feel like sometimes maybe we and other people, maybe we don't know enough to know that we don't know.
Right.
You're learning as you go. Don't know enough to know that we don't know.
And I think people feel like, homesteading has to be all self-sustaining and all off-grid. And I don't know, we've been watching some shows that we're just surprised. We watch these homesteaders and they have no water. That's a basic need, and we're just...
For you and I, we sit there and watch that sometimes. We go, wouldn't you have thought of that before you plant yourself on that property?
Right.
Is it healthy, drinkable, obtainable water? And that's what they choose to do, and that's fine and that's okay. But 21st century homesteading, Lisa and I were just having a conversation with each other, bouncing this off of one another. It seems like it doesn't have to be absolute, complete self-sustaining at this time. We're not living in an environment or a society or a time that we have to survive.
Right. It's more you're preparing for, if you're out of power. I mean, in 2007, in our area, people were out of power for 2-3 weeks. And it was hard on people, We had some family come and stay with us for a few days. And so, even we don't obviously prepare for the apocalypse or the end of the world. We're Christians. We're not going to be here. If the Lord comes back, when He comes back, we're not going to be here. So we're not preparing for anything like that. But it is obvious that, with the way things are going, there aren't any groceries on the shelf at times. And so there are things that we need to prepare for and be working toward being able to self-sustain. But you don't have to just jump off the high dive and
live without everything.
Right.
Live without all the wonderful blessings that we have available to us, amenities and those kind of things. You don't have to live without a toilet to prove ourselves to anyone or to prove yourself to anyone.
Or a shower. You don't have to live without a shower.
So we went through the '07 ice storm here in southwest Missouri. And it made a lot of us aware that we need to think ahead. We need to think about propane. We need to think about a wood stove. We need to think about how are you going to heat your house and keep your family warm? How are you going to cook your food when you don't have electricity? And really just let it be fun. Just kind of say, if that ever happens again, we're not going to stress out. We're just going to relax, and we're going to put our work and our study and our homework and our effort to work for us, and we're going to get through it, and we're going to enjoy getting through it. And I think that has a lot to do with what we're trying to do at the homestead. With our meat goats, we are not making any money on our meat goats. Our meat goats aren't reproducing as fast as we wanted them to reproduce.
Thanks, Oreo.
But we have the property. We're now getting the infrastructure in. We're getting all the fence in. We're not living in a recession right now. We're not living in a depression. We're not living in that type of a time period where we can't do anything for ourselves, where we can't spend money. Inflation is getting absolutely out of control. This fencing that I'm buying right here just went up $40 a roll. Barbed wire just went up $30 a roll. All this stuff is throwing warning signs out. So what we're doing, if you really want to think about it in a sense of homesteading, we're preparing to have livestock when all we really need to do is have reproducing livestock. The fence will be built, the infrastructure will be in, the water will be there. And then at that point, pause. I'm not trying to be a doomsayer. I'm not trying to throw out scare tactics. But if we continue on the financial path that we're on this country with the super hyper inflation and ridiculous costs, where things that used to be scrap and throw away are being sold every day now for a premium price, then one of these days it has to catch up to us. And I think it's going to put a hurt on a lot of families financially. This free spending of American dollars is going to have to, and I'm not trying to get off on a tangent here, but we have to see the warning signs and the grocery stores and the gas prices and all this and say, let's just get everything ready now so we don't have an emergency then. I think one of the things we came out with on this goal was that if a recession hits, or hyperinflation gets out of control, or we lose our jobs, or you know, I pray the Lord never lets this happen, but if we end up America going through another depression, we've been there before. Lisa and I just talked about it. We want to work hard to be able to come out of it with our health, with our family, and hopefully with our property.
Right. And you know, it's about, excuse me, it's about building your toolbox. You know, we don't have everything we need to sustain right now. And I don't know how to make, you know, some of my goals. I want to make, he'll be excited about this, flour tortillas. I want to learn to make flour tortillas. I've never done that before. So all of those things, it's just, you have to be building and putting things in your toolbox so that, you know, if that time comes, you can pull that out of your toolbox. You'll have it. So we want to do some meat chickens. And the timing is inconvenient. I just think, when can I work this in? We've got a grandbaby coming, so I'm going to be going to Texas and different things. You know, it's inconvenient, but yet I don't know how to butcher a chicken. And so I don't want to put that stuff off. I want to be building my toolbox so that I will have that tool to take out at a later time if I need to. So whether it's a convenient time or not, I told him I'm going to get meat chickens and we'll just figure it out. I will pay somebody to come and move my chickens every day if we're gone or whatever. But it's about just building your toolbox, figuring out what you can do that will help you in the long run.
Spring's right here. I mean, it is right around the corner. Where our goal is to get the goats turned out into this 10 acres of woods. We have 2 garden boxes, raised bed boxes of Lisa's that I want to move a little bit on the concrete slab. And then I'm going to build her a 3rd box that'll be 4 foot wide by 16 feet long so she can expand her garden. We have in our goals are to build a chicken tractor for her meat chickens and get the meat chickens and get those started. So this brush cleanup, and then now the tractor's down and it's another project. But those are the kind of things that we've got coming, and we'll try to keep you posted on those as they go.
And one more thing I told him a couple of days ago. He was like, what? I told him I want him to build me a milk stanchion.
Well, that's easy. We'll do that.
Just something really simple, but I do know how to milk goats. I grew up, I know how to milk cows and goats. That's not a big deal, but our goats have never been milked before, so that will be a new process for them. Yeah. But anyway, just get started. Set some goals and see where you want to be and just make strides toward those things.
It's going to be a busy spring. I hope you just stay with us and stay with our channel. We enjoy having folks follow us, and we enjoy the comments. We enjoy the interaction. There's a couple of things really close to being in the works within the next less than 2 weeks, the next week to 2 weeks. So we're going to put out some videos about that, let you know what's coming to Shanty Acres Homestead. And we're kind of adding to that, and we're going to, if we say we're busy now and we've got a lot of projects on our plate, it's getting ready to get really busy, get really crazy. So just stay tuned, and within, wouldn't you say, about a week to a week and a half, we'll be revealing what the next thing is for Shanty Acres Homestead.
Within 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks. All right? Thank you for watching. Enjoy this beautiful weather. We'll see you on the next video.